for a start, you kind of look at sometimes look at a segmentation breakdown and go, well, where do I sit into that? Where do my friends sit into that? Where does the specific customer that I have sit into that? But I guess I just hazard a warning around overcomplication, because I personally like distinct marketing activities and distinct marketing campaigns to be put up against different segments. And if you're doing the same activity or speaking to them in the same way, or if you literally just can't afford to differentiate your campaigns in a complicated way, well then why have you got a segment model where you're trying to address those segment needs differently? Failure to align with programming. People often create segmentation based on what they hope is going to be programmed rather than what actually is going to get programmed. You've really got to have some alignment there. Confusion. People actually think that just a database analysis based on behaviours and other indicators is a segmentation, and I like to suggest that it's not really. It's a little bit useless if you just get a bunch of numbers without some actions to go with those numbers. And failure to act. You can suddenly decide that, okay, I know how many 2 times frequency repeat single ticket buyers I have. I know how many donors I have who also buy packages. Well, what are you actually going to do with it? So be careful that what you're looking for in terms of segment difference is actionable. One key thing I want from a segmentation, I want to go to market with it. I know I'm banging on about this, but it's not just theory, it's actual practice. You want actions, you don't want just insights. And hopefully, by putting the information you've learned from your segmentation back into your database, you've got something a bit more long-term, something with a bit of life in it, and something that's changing, that you can challenge your own understanding of a particular audience member if they start exhibiting behaviours that don't align with what you thought their segment was. Again, I'll just repeat it, not overly complex. Criteria for segmentation. This is from the Full Houses book that Roger Tomlinson and Tim Roberts wrote, and it's just I'll just skip over it because I'm sure many of you have downloaded the excerpts of Full House that are available on the Australia Council website. If not, I'd suggest you should. What are the customers' points of difference? What are their similarities? Are there enough of those similarities and differences to group customers in a distinct way, in a quantity large enough to bother about? Can the way that you define those customers be applied to your real day-to-day world, real-world activities, marketing activities? Some kinds of segmentation that people do. Behavioural is the one that most of us use every day, whether we're actually conscious of it or not. At its simplest, customer bought event X. We think that has affinities with event Y, let's market event Y to them. Of course, mostly we have no idea whether or not when they went to see event X, they actually liked it, or whether they hated it, or in fact whether or not it was even them, or they bought it as presents for somebody else.